It's a thing we're going to discuss. Okay, let's start with the open PRs. Hello, welcome all to the Foundation Infrastructure Working Group. It's the 11th of January. Yeah, let's start with open PRs. There's many. This one has 2 approvals. Even more. So yeah, that's good. This was the docs one, right? Oh no, this was the big refactor. Yes. Okay, we have 2 reviews. It's good. Ooh, this one. This one has 2 reviews. I just found one file that was not used, a stub file. So I think I expect this to be resolved during the day. So then I will continue. We'll merge it later. The submitter is just not online yet.
One question here. Can every Bosch release be built by this?
Allegedly, yeah, it doesn't do Windows yet.
So there are no limitations, any limitations.
I don't think so. Like it is actually like calling the compile code from the agents, like that would normally be used. The only things that are different is like the agent usually gets like blobs, right? So the director unpacks the release and stores like separate blobs for each package, and then those get injected. So now the unpacking of the release and putting the blobs in the right places, that logic is in here, and the compiling it or putting it all back in one tarball. Those were the things that were added, but the compilation bits were those are like existing libraries that are being used,
Mhm.
existing code paths.
Okay.
And I think like why I don't know what it would take to make this work on Windows. Um, I just saw one thing around like the slug where it tries to determine what the stem cell version is. That was Linux specific. Here, Slug Linux, where it says, yeah, this is only implemented for Linux.
Given that Chris is on a team that does ship a Windows thing, I wouldn't be surprised for a follow-up PR to make this work on Windows at some point if they actually start
Yeah,
using this
I
on
was
their
looking
team.
at, yeah, Chris is on my team. He's on Slingshots.
Oh, is he? Oh, I thought he was on Rallinge.
No.
Oh, never mind then.
But so I was looking into this because I do want to do it on Windows. But I saw like we're currently running this on Concourse. Um, and the Windows support for Concourse is not great. So I think we would like it doesn't do containerized things. So you need to make sure that all your dependencies are installed, right? So that doesn't work with this model. But I looked like it, I don't understand why like those limitations are there because Garden seems to just work fine on Windows, right? And we have Garden apps on Windows. Um, so I don't know why those limitations exist on Concourse. So something I would like to investigate in the future, but hopefully not too soon. Hopefully I'm not forced to do it too soon. I want to do it later. It's not the
It's
highest priority.
a little bit weird though, because I don't know, How would you even, you would want to run this inside of a Windows stem cell container image, which isn't a thing, right?
Yeah, that's true. But couldn't we like if we yeah,
You could run it
yeah, I
raw
guess.
on whatever OS or stem cell the concourse is running on, but like, yeah, I don't know how you spin up a stem cell as a container inside of Windows. And I don't want to know, I'm going to be honest.
But if you have like an image, like you get into like the licensing problem again. But like
Right.
we already have the vSphere, like we have internally we have the vSphere Windows images, right? Like so maybe you could just like Docker import such an image as a file system, put it somewhere in the registry, go from there. You do not have to boot anything. It's just about the files and the dependencies.
Yeah. I unfortunately don't have a Windows box here to try it.
No, but like you can do it in a virtual machine. Like there's no like limitations. Like I think you just need a story in the backlog.
That's not what I need. Speaking of limitations, though, I tried compiling the BOSH director with this on my M1 MacBook. That did not go well due to the Docker virtualization of M1 i386 on M1. Like it pegged a core for like a couple hours, and then it pegged 2 cores overnight, and the CPU time was up to like more than 20 hours. And I was like, what's going on here? I did like a Docker container like ls, and it was like just unresponsive. I'm like, okay. And then I just did it on a concourse, and it took like 40 minutes to compile. So M1 not great at emulating i386 for this, with whatever Docker variant I'm using at least.
Could someone take over sharing? Because I think my computer finally stopped working. Like I've been doing virtualized things all day, and so it's now swapping like crazy. So I basically need a reboot.
Yeah, 1 second. As I try to open Windows. And put myself on do not disturb projects. All right. So that one's waiting for a change, but then otherwise it's great. This one is still pending reviews. Kenneth, some feedback. Looks like I need to ping long. Oh yeah, we were going to talk about this. I only know that because I watched the video from last meeting where you were like, "We're not talking about this. Let's talk about it next week," and that's now. So this is the apt, which in its current form just sort of picks a timestamp of the tag, which is going to be very close and maybe good enough. An alternative would be what we talked about sometime last year, of having Concourse sort of create a time at the start of a build, passing that through as a resource, and then this using that as the time we use for the apt cache, and then committing that somewhere along the way, presumably, so that it can be reused in the future along with that tag. One way to keep from polluting the main tree would be when you commit that timestamp and push the tag at sort of the end of the pipeline, do that sort of like a branch off the main, so you don't constantly have this tag on the mainline branch. Just so you don't have the timestamp on the mainline branch, so the tag and the timestamp would live sort of as an extra commit off to the side. You could also put it on the mainline branch, but then you got to make sure you clear it up at the start of the pipeline. I'm happy to look into doing this if we want to move that direction, but I'm not sure when I get around to it.
Yeah, I don't see any other solution. I've looked at it, but I don't see any other easier solution. So yeah.
And where are we at with the need for reproducible builds?
Well,
is it still a necessity for FIPS?
There isn't any yet, and for FIPS it's not available yet, so it's not. We are not in a hurry for this, but
right. But like, I forget
nice
where is Canonical just building the FIPS themselves and everybody's consuming those? I forget. Or people
they are building themselves, and they are currently on a fork, and they have an open PR to be able, like, because they want to use an IS specific kernel. They have a PR for that that we will be reviewing soon, I think, or looking at.
Which throws a lot of the benefits from reproducible builds out the window. It's like, yeah, it's got a lot of the same packages, but the kernel is totally different on this Gemi 123 versus Gemi 123 FIPS. It's like, well, does it matter if they're even close at that point?
Yeah. So I think like the main value we're getting from VIPs in the community is the fact that we can like have CF deployment, find things and go green, and that component teams can test things with packages that are similar, but I don't know if like the reproducible bit is that like on the VMware side or Broadcom side, we have decided to I mean we still need our own testing, our own validation, right? We built our own version of the stem cell basically at the same time as we do in the open source or just after, so it should be really similar, and we use that in our own internal validation pipeline, but which is downstream of like the open source ones. So the idea is that with the open source ones, we'll detect things first, right? And but we still validate our own build.
And those could be similar, although both of those will be different from the one that Canonical generates.
Yes.
All right. It's not a bad thing in general to have, the desire to have reproducible stem cells has come up not frequently, but at points of the past, like we'd need to rebuild the stem cell and try something different on it. And well, you can't. Oh, and I guess also the FIPS, this won't even help for the rebuilding the open source FIPS for now, because Canonical still doesn't have the reproducible
for FIPS.
Yeah. But they're releasing that sometime this year, right?
Yeah. So and that's what I'm saying. It's nice to have. It's not really.
Yeah, like it was basically from the FIPS discussions we found out that they actually have something for this, right? And it is quite a neat thing.
But it's undocumented. We don't know what the support is.
I mean, yeah.
So I tested
wouldn't tie it to FIPS anymore.
But yeah.
But if we go this route, I like Joseph's solution, where we at least end up with something as a reference in the repo.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll give it a chance sometime in the next couple of weeks when I get around to it. We'll see. I'm sure I'm going to run into some. It's real nice on paper. But in an actual pipeline, there might be some problems that we run into.
Yeah, for me, it's like, how are we going to do this with in the tagging part?
Yeah.
It happens in the aggregate step, so I don't know.
What direction was I moving? Bottom to top for some reason. Log tags.
Yeah,
I
this
think
one
you
depends on the other one, which is pending for changes, but the changes are already done, so you can move it to the in progress lane.
Move the other one to the.
Yeah, if you go to the PRs, exactly the second one in the waiting for
Oh, sorry.
changes.
In the middle.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. So this one, the changes are done. But this is the most important one because the other one depends on it.
was last week, and this is presumably done now. We'll get Chris to re-review. Where's the button? No button?
Someone pressed already.
I did.
Oh,
I was
perfect.
hoping to get the second review faster. That was okay.
Okay. We need to talk to Rajan also. He's been away from our team for a while, and I haven't seen him actually do any reviews for a while. So having him as a reviewer is maybe not useful anymore.
Shall I update the load balancing and remove him for now?
Yeah, that's actually good. I thought we would have to remove him from one of the lists in the community, but yeah, I'd say just remove him from the load balancing.
Oh yeah, no, I can show you where you can do it. We can do it here. So you can go to Orcs Cloud Foundry and then to Teams. Right, I will send the link. But I will do that later. As in, I'm loading pages. It's slow.
Okay. I'll leave. I think was Rajan on both of them? No. I'll leave this one open to re-request reviews once the load balancing is updated. I'll probably ping Chris also directly. Okay, but those are just waiting on reviews at this point.
But why is it still in waiting for changes, or is it?
Pending review, waiting for changes. Oh, yeah. I guess we can just do that back. Yeah. Yeah. This order confuses me slightly. These two are, I guess, you go back and forth between them.
Mhm.
Speaking of Vip's kernel stuff. So they went with the Boolean rather than, or no, they didn't go with the Boolean.
This is waiting for review. We have already assigned people.
Yeah. Okay.
We just need to change the state.
Seems good.
Already updated the load balancing, but this is where you can find it. Posted it in the Zoom chat.
I'm going to open that because otherwise it'll go away when the meeting ends. Bosch, Ollie, storage CLI, vendor dependencies. Seems reasonable. This is sort of the next step of this one. Is it just bringing in dependencies? I guess they weren't vendored before. Yeah, looks like it. This doesn't seem like it's worth assigning reviewers to, right? We can just merge this.
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
Okay. This one brings over a bunch of CI stuff, which will then have to fly onto Foundation, I assume. Missing keys. Like we could have reviewers.
I think in general they have the rule that CI changes do not require
Oh, that's true.
Do we need
reviews.
Oh, Matthias is not there. So do we need the Ali environment?
Yes. I guess when we go to fly it.
Yeah, I still need to follow up with got his name again, dude. Chris. Still need to follow up with Chris because he was saying that he could get us Ali and Azure development accounts for these kind of stuff. So I just need to follow up on that again.
Okay. These should already be in CredHub. This one somebody will need to generate, which I think, I don't know who has access to do that. I can probably take an action item to put that into the CredHub, and then, yeah, these will need to be filled in.
Yeah, I'm wondering why it needs to have this deploy key, but
just to check it out for repo access.
Yeah, then we probably can use the default ones that we have for everything, and that's in main.
Deploy keys are specific per repo, right?
Yeah. There's some GitHub users that have API keys.
We have the GitHub bot key where that have access to everything. And it's just for read access anyways. I think I use it for that for everything. Because it's probably checking only for the resources.
Well, it probably is it doing auto bumps and stuff?
And the bot should do auto bump.
It's got publishing. Yeah, so it's making commits and tags. So it needs write access to the repo.
That's normally done by all our CI bots. So I think we could just use the main CI bot.
We have a bot account with private keys, or does the bot account just have API keys?
No, it has the bot account has all these keys, and it's in the CredHub and then Concourse/main, I think.
Okay.
So the upper level. So if it doesn't found it in the sub level with the pipeline name, then it will go one level up. That's what Concourse CredHub search does.
Well, I'll make a commit to change it to use those, and then
yeah, you can also leave a review and ask for changes.
Yeah, one line.
No, it's a slippery slope, right? You change that one line.
2 lines. 2 lines is no.
No. But you already started changing that one line, right? You touched it. Now it's yours. The rules of the community. You touched it last. You're on the hook. Yeah, everybody has problems with the Google Doc. It's a VMware policy change or Broadcom policy change, so we need to migrate it to a Foundation-owned thing.
Okay, so I'm not the only one having that issue.
So you all need to join Broadcom for us to be able to work as a community.
Oh, by the way.
Docs. Bosh for the new PCAP commands. Seems pretty reasonable. We'll throw reviews on it though. Be pretty quick. No. What are we?
Life.
Infra? Life cycle. Oh, good.
Yeah. Who was the one who messed with the crony thing in the last previous thing?
We did that.
God damn it.
Crony is never a problem. It's always great. It just works.
Change default from
But
shared.
he's not doing anything here.
Yeah,
But he's
this doesn't look like what I thought we were talking about.
no. Just change the system default from shit. But it doesn't change anything. You remove something from a spec file.
Have we haven't no wait. We haven't even cut a stem cell with that change to startup of Cronny.
I don't know. Let me check. No, when was it merged? Like 2 weeks ago?
I think it was last week. It was beginning of last week.
Yeah. Well, there is one done like 20 hours ago.
Probably they're not a time traveler.
No, I don't. Well, 17 hours ago, so 20 hours ago.
They were
Would-
really quick.
Would be
fixes.
right, like a real real nice thing that they found it immediately, but yeah, just ask them which stem cell they're using and what they're trying to do here, because
Exit 0.
yeah, only if it's bionic. Or it's not,
If it's not bionic.
Then it does not add the root there as private service. Ah, okay, I understand.
But also this is Ubuntu Jammy Master, so a bionic check doesn't necessarily make sense.
No, I think he was confused because it was bionic stuff. You can still build bionic off a Jammy branch, but yeah, that should not be in there. We need to remove all the bionic and Xenial stuff for the next LTS release anyways.
What's the deal with the CLA stuff though?
Yeah, that's not true. Still needs assigned CLA.
Yeah.
All right.
It's an easy click.
Right? Yeah.
I think there's probably community guidelines or something that you can point
Well,
to.
and you can just use the personal CLA.
Yeah.
What we had done before is someone taking over the change and recommitting it
The
as
annoying
someone
thing
else.
with if you do the company-wide CLA, then you go through a whole thing. But for personal, it's just one click. It's just basically clicking that red button and then filling your email. Yeah, also the he can remove the whole bionic thing.
Wouldn't add something about free time in a comment on the public internet.
I mean, it's true. He can do it in his free time. I don't care who he signs it as.
Sure.
As to the actual validity of it, I have no idea. We'll let somebody figure it out. What is this issue, though? This is from yesterday.
Yeah, we had this issues before, like a long time ago. Then we changed
I
something.
think we built Bionic before, like when we tried to make it like a real thing.
Oh, and there's this, yeah, 1329. I can't believe that all of the Bosch, StimCell, and Vester CPI pipelines would be passing if this were true everywhere. So there's a lot of data in here.
Resizing persistent disk is broken with the VirtualBox CPI. I've noticed that for a long time, and it's still not fixed
Yeah.
for quite a long
Using
time.
this-
Yeah,
It's using the same
Same
stem
stem
cell.
cell.
The whole
Yes.
VirtualBox
Yeah.
CPI is a bit broken.
Okay. Hopefully the reviewers are able to figure that one out. Typo. I don't know. I like it the old way. All right, and then the SCP command is failing if used according to documentation. Really? That surprises me, but we'll see. Somebody take a look. Should be moved over. And have a look at the issues. January.
Shall we first have the discussion about the what's the topic?
Noble? Something else? Not on the
Noble.
agenda?
Yes. Yeah. I think Noble was on the agenda.
Yeah. I typed it there
I don't know
because
who put it
yeah,
there. Oh,
I just put it there.
yeah.
Just because 2 years ago at this time, we already had sort of a jammy beta stem cell, I think, work had already begun and hasn't yet. So we should probably start. I don't know if anybody's excited to start that work, but if not, I'll create a branch and fly a pipeline and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, we don't know if the other one is already, if there is a beta already released now.
Yeah.
Last time it was also around this period that they brought out the container, Docker container with the beta. But
yeah, I think it was around, I think work started in December last time. So
yeah, but
I sort of
then we
assume it was
used
there, but might not be.
we used the so we used the in-between one, so the one that's get released in November. And then at one point we changed it to the beta container.
Hmm. And there was a LTS between Bionic and Jamie. Is that true or no?
No.
Not a stem cell that we did, but did we skip another thing?
No, not an
Canonical?
LTS. We did
No?
not skip an LTS release. I think. No, we did skip an LTS release.
Yes,
Focal.
focal.
Okay. So it should be a smaller jump than last time.
There
Yeah.
is a Noble tag
There's a noble tag.
on Docker Hub.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, seems like it should be startable in theory. And then we have, what do we have as far as actual work? Is that What was that wish list?
It's a label, I think.
And issues, I think. Was it a label or?
Yes.
No, milestone.
A
Milestone. I definitely know the difference between the two.
Yeah, it's really different.
There's what we were just talking about. This is aspirational, although somewhat bit us yesterday. Back on Xenial, apparently, when you install ESM packages now, and you try to install our syslog package, it prefers the ESM package rather than the one from the PPE that we use to install our syslog, which then broke all of the other syslog packages, which were like, you're like 3,000 versions out of date from one that I need. So I don't know if we have an actual good solution for that, but
yeah, the only one is building it from source, but
yeah, that might be an option. Because right now, the main reason for this is that it dramatically impacts our ability to reproducible builds because they store 0 historical versions on this PPA.
yeah, but you can also ask yourself how much is rsyslog going to interfere with the reproducible build?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another story.
I don't mind building it from source. I think that's not a bad idea.
All right, Ruben volunteered.
I mean, we can also.
And the problem is that we have another auto update thing in the pipeline.
What's one more?
Yeah, what's one more? True.
Like I would say we maybe should build up a repo that builds our syslog binaries, and then like we bump it into the stem cell
Internally?
builder.
Well,
Yeah,
we do
for
have the
our own
group.
consumption.
We do have the group. We already have an APT repository, so basically we can do it.
I wonder if that
Oh, yeah.
APT supports the timestamp feature shenanigans, because that would be really easy if we just have that one timestamp, we just use it for all of them.
No, it's only for. Well, we can probably build it at some point, but
It seems like a bit of an overkill. If we can just have it point, like if we can just bump a static URL to a pre-built binary.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruben, you mean a Vosh package for rsyslog?
no,
What
an
package?
APT package,
Oh,
Debian package. So we create a Debian package and put it to our own APT repository. And,
all right.
And
I mean, like you do not even have to put it in a repository, right? You could just like point to it directly, get it, download it, and depackage install.
yeah, we just need to know the versions.
Yeah, so if the URL is static, and you auto bump the URL into the repository, like we do in many places.
Many places. It's a great pattern.
It's a great pattern. For reproducibility, it is.
That is true.
Like if you want to debug something in the repo and look up the history of things that changed,
You got to find the right grep-v to remove all those commits. Any other thoughts on Noble?
No, maybe I don't know what if SAP is going to do something, or if it's going to be a shared thing again, or if it's just let's see who does stuff first.
I feel very strongly that it should happen. However, there's some question of Broadcom's desire to build and maintain it. So might end up being, if SAP's not super interested in either, it might be primarily a community-driven thing. But like, I feel very strongly that it should happen after having to experience ESM for a couple of years.
I think definitely
again.
We should maintain like that Noble needs to come. The reason now is how fast.
We also have interest to have Noble. We have to, yeah. I think shared thing will be good. Yeah.
maybe the takeaway is to like go back to management or something and ask for some prioritization
Yeah.
of this effort.
Yeah. Probably
Because-
do some of the open source stuff, create a Slack channel for it and create the branches and things though.
Yeah.
Because why would Broadcom not do this with Ops Manager to go to Noble quickly?
One theory is that takes a long time for all of our products to actually, some of our products are just now moving to Jammy. So it takes a long time to get all the products to move. So doing that every 2 years is somewhat expensive, but at the same time, I think one of the reasons it takes so long is because we're not used to doing it. We do it every 4 to 6 years, and then it's like nobody remembers how to bump stuff. So doing it every couple of years seems like maybe we get better at it.
Yeah, if it hurts, do it more often.
Yeah. And if I can remind anyone that we said last time we skip a version, but next time we don't skip any version. So.
Yeah, that was definitely my feeling.
There was also a request from, I don't know from, but it was on the summit that we had in the CF day that we had in Germany, but I can't remember who requested it for. Like, can we do every 2 years? Like, can we just maintain every LTS release? So,
it
yeah.
seems like a sane position to hold.
Yeah.
It probably does create some, I don't know, we'll have to see. Like, is there any, because CF deployment normally only supports one. So like it does create some interesting world where we're maintaining, Bionic and Jammy for an overlap of much longer. And it's like, is Jammy even usable? Like, is it, no, we had to make changes to Diego or something for it to work under Noble. So we've never really been in the situation where there's two stem cells under active development. One's normally like very much on the way out by the time we ship a new one. So it'll be a little bit different, but we'll see. I feel like if those issues do arise, maybe.
Yeah, so if we want to support two stem cells at the same time, probably it makes sense to do it through an RFC so that we at least get some discussion with the CF deployment working group as well up front.
Yeah. See how we want to handle that.
Yeah, I mean, like that they also agree with it being a good idea. Because if we build it and they do not want to support it,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So we need the commitment, at least of the others, that they will fix issues and adopt or validate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Would that
don't
make
see
sense to
many
make
changes.
it a TLC topic?
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't see any big changes between Jammy and Noble. So I don't know.
Which
Oh,
for
What
you
happens
should.
when you do it every 2
today
years?
Yeah. Well, when we went from Xenial to Bionic to Jammy, from Xenial to Jammy, that was a big step.
But also, do you remember the last time like we had the pipeline going and in the beginning it was all fine, right? It was green and everything was happy, and then like when the date was getting closer, they started to make all sorts of weird breaking changes. Like that OpenSSL thing, I think came in later,
Yeah.
among other things. But it was good to have the pipeline running, right? Because then you could see the things break as they came in, so you do not have like everything break at the same time.
Yeah, that was good. Oh, libc and SSL. Horrible.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else on Noble, or should we move on to issues?
No.
All right. This looks like since
That's
the
what the
last
one
meeting.
we already did PRs for.
Okay, right. That makes sense. That's not new. This, my math is right, is new.
And the top one in the inbox is probably open for contribution, right? There's already a PR.
The top one in the inbox.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, yeah. We already looked at this too, right?
Yeah, we already, yeah.
So if there's already a PR, it's still open for contribution?
Or prioritized. I mean, usually I use prioritized if someone from the working group is like working on it, because then you can assign them. But I don't think you can. You can probably not assign a person from the community.
As templates. Okay, it doesn't look like this was actually updated, just linked from another comment, another issue. All right. I don't see anything else. Anybody have anything else to talk about?
Nope.
All right. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Bye.
See you next week.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Babası biz Penny'den tam alışveriş yaptık geliyoruz.
Tamam. Evet, tamam.
Senin meeting bitti mi?
Bitti tamam, evet.
Tamam. Evet. Her şey normal mı?
Her şey oldu.
Evet. Hat geklappt alles.
Evet.
Senin yanında her şey normal mi?
Benim yanında her şey normal, evet. Her şey oldu. Bak, aradım bakayım neredesiniz?
Tamam. Yok Penny'den geçişimiz yoktu zaten. Orada da bayağı insan oluyor bu saatte. O yüzden şimdi, şimdi geliyoruz.
Sen Türk marketine gittin mi? Ne oldu?
Gitmedim, yok ben gidemedim. Dinlendim biraz öğleden sonra. Edis'e zaten zaman yoktu. Aslında Türk marketine gidilebilir şimdi. Ama bilmem. Seni alıp da mı gidelim? Evet falan. Ya da yarın gidelim. Yarın da gidebiliriz aslında. Hadi gidiyoruz.
Geç olmasın yani.
Geç oldu. Uçak. Evet. Dur bakalım.
Yani tamam, iyi.
Geç oldu. Yarın kaldı. Türk market. Evet. Tamam ama biz geliyoruz.
Tamam.
Tamam.
Tamam, evet, duyarım, evet, tamam, iyi.
Tamam. İstersen patates kaynatabiliriz. Patates salatası. Bu zaten küçükler kalmıştı öyle şeyde. Onların yenilmesi lazım. Bu akşam patates kaynatalım.
Kaynatabiliriz, evet.
Tamam. Geliyoruz biz şimdi yoldayız. Çıkıyoruz da. Babaya bay bay deyin abla. Bay bay.
Bay bay, öptüm sizi. Yavrular.
Geliyor yavrular, sportif yavrular.
Tamam.
Sen.
Haydi. Baba bekliyor. Haydi bakalım.
Tamam. Bekliyoruz. Evet.